vocal. She's like, "Give me my penny back," which is fine. She's
Hi,
entitled to it, but people just
emojis.
thought it was kind of interesting to note. Contrary to a lot of speculation, former classmates also stated Yoo-jung was absolutely never bullied. So as far as we know, nobody picked on her. Nobody forced her to retreat into her shell and go unnoticed.
Imagine po.
Nobody verbally, physically hit her. Nobody bothered her because she wouldn't even wave back at you. It's like she
Kailan
would
ako
just
pick-in?
float through her
Nakalimutan ko. Today or
childhood like a
tomorrow?
ghost. This seems to
Tomorrow.
be like a choice that she made for whatever reason.
10:30.
She would be so
Huwag niyo
good at being
kalimutan
unnoticeable that
tomorrow.
she could walk into a room and
Pero
no
baka
one
ako
would love or
makalimutan
even
ko.
care.
Hindi ko kakalimutan.
Her presence was unknown.
10:30.
She was unseen. She was
Minsan nakakalimutan ko.
unremarkable in almost every way. We have no idea if she
Ikaw yan, di
desperately
ba,
desired to talk or to say something or wanted
Migs.
someone to listen to her.
Or
As if
Niner.
she was
Hi,
invisible
Gunner.
and she
Hi,
didn't want to be.
Garrett.
She
Kising na ba mga
couldn't
elepante?
stop. Maybe her brain
Tulog na
blocked
sila.
that part of her life
Ano na
or
ngayon eh.
blocked that
Gabi
part
na
of
eh.
her socialization. I don't know.
Pero gising ang
Or
mga
on the
aso
flip
namin.
side, you could
Narinig mo ba
argue
yung
that
aso
this was a
namin?
choice. She didn't like people. This was her own little rebellion to not talk to people. She was deliberately ignoring them. But she did kind of unsettle her former classmates. So they never bothered to get to know her, but they reported that she would sit
Hi,
behind
Ride ni
curtains alone.
Odge.
So like imagine there's a curtain, she would just sit behind it. She's like hiding herself, but not really hiding herself because you would see that there is a human behind the curtain and then you would look at the shoes and then you'd be like, why is Yoo-jung behind the curtain?
Hi.
Sometimes you would hear crunching noises from behind the curtain
Ang sakit
and she would just
sakit
be
ng
behind
tiyan
the
ko,
curtain
pero
eating snacks.
ang sakit ng tiyan ko. Hi, Ride.
A professor named Lee Soo-jung
Hi,
was interviewed
Jobal.
about this case, and as an
Hi,
expert in teen
Bryant.
psychology and behavior, they stated that she had unusual behavior for a
Kamusta kayo,
teenager.
guys?
They said that adolescent ages are a time of pure curiosity of your peers. You want to know what your peers have to think, have to say about everything, how they dress. You want to get to know everyone your age. You have this like innate
Hello,
desire to
emoji.
understand them because you want to be part of your peers.
Ba't kising ka ng Niner? Umaga ba
this
dyan
one's
sa
very
inyo?
weird. And it's gonna get weirder.
Ay,
So far, it's
hapon
weird,
siguro dyan sa inyo.
the professor stated that if they were to
Hello,
evaluate this type of
emoji.
behavior, they would
Hi,
categorize it
Smiling.
as
Hi,
psychopathic
Pierre.
tendencies and
Ikaw
or
ba yan,
behavior
baby?
that is being
Nagpalit
displayed
ka
at
na
an
ng name.
early age. So Yoo-jung puts in as much effort into her schoolwork as she does getting to know her classmates. Another thing that stood out to former classmates is that Yoo-jung was never angry. She was never upset. She was never depressed. She never
Hi,
had this
Dade.
passion
Hi,
against
Dave.
everyone. Like, oh, I don't want to talk to any of you guys because you don't understand me. I stand out. I'm different.
Saan
She never
pakiramdam ko
had
today?
that. She just seemed so utterly neutral about everything, so incredibly passively indifferent. And in hindsight, a lot of people said that might be scary. But she still managed to graduate in 2018 from the Kyunghee Girls High School. She had no clue
Hi,
what she wanted to do
Deuce.
with the rest of her life, which,
Hi,
is very
Daddy.
normal. But she also had
Hi,
zero
Axel.
intention of trying to
Hello,
explore
Ramel.
things and figure it out. After she graduates high school, Yoo-jung had no social outlet. She had nothing on her schedule that would force her to interact with people, with teachers, like high school did. Like, she doesn't have college. She has become totally disconnected from society the day she graduates high school. She would stay in her room all day.
Hindi ko natuloy ko
No
anong
connection with
gagawin
anyone.
ko.
She would tell her grandfather
Ilang
that
hours
she
na
was
ako?
holed up in her room studying for the public
Mag-2 hours
government
na
official
ako.
exam. But it is clear
2 hours na
Yoo-jung
ako.
used this as a
Yay!
delay tactic, an excuse to have in her
Yay!
back pocket if her grandfather ever noticed that she has no social life, that she's
Hi,
not getting a job,
Rez.
that she has no plans for her future. She would just milk the crap out of studying for this exam for the next 5 years. Every day it was, oh, Grandpa, I'm studying for the entrance exam. She was receiving financial support from her grandfather while she studied. He expected that she would pass and afterwards she would find a job and she would get paid and hopefully pay him back for all the hard work that he's done because he's a grandfather now. And I'm sure that there were even moments that the grandfather was proud of her because she never spent time hanging out with friends or just
Hi,
doing
Red.
nothing.
Hello,
She
Dark
was
Side.
always studying. She seemed so dedicated to her studies.
Nagising pa pala si Mama.
Now, if you think that he's in on it
Narinig niyo
or
si Mama.
gullible
Hi,
or that he should
Ulan.
have
Hi,
known,
Dewey.
it's a different generation. He didn't even know that you needed to have a college level proficiency in English to even qualify to take the exam. Which
Ano yun?
Yoo-jung was clearly not proficient in English, and that's kind of something that is pretty
Iyak
easy
ng
to
aso
tell,
ni Ipit.
and it might be why she chose her victim.
Natapakan
Now, we're
siguro
going
ni
to circle
Mama.
back to that. In 2017, Yoo-jung applied
Ayun,
multiple
tapakan yung
times for a
elepante.
job as a golf guide.
Hi!
She submitted her resume
Kaya nga,
and wrote,
inapakan nga siguro
after
ni
leaving
Mama.
high school, I started preparing for the college entrance
Elepante
exam.
na.
I enjoy
Ba't
being
naman
active
elepante
and
tawag mo
meeting
kay
other
Mama?
people, and I really want to try this role. Thank you. But once she got a call for an interview, she did not say a single word. Even when the interviewer asked her standard interview questions, it was silent on the other line. Silence. She refused to talk.
Hi, boys. Hello,
The recruiter was so
alalag.
confused because
Nagalag.
she's like, you applied for the
Nagalag
job.
pa.
Why won't you talk? Because you applied for the job. It didn't look good in the recruiter's eyes,
Mama,
and of course,
gusto.
she didn't get the job. But when she
Gusto
found out that
ng?
she was rejected from the position, she went as
Ano
far
mama
as to
gusto
call
mo?
them back and curse them out for their decision. She kept demanding to know why. Why was I rejected? And they didn't really want to tell her because, well, you were strange. You didn't respond to any of the questions. We thought you were a little weird. They didn't want to say that. So they just said,
Tauji?
oh, well, we're looking for an English
Tauji?
speaker and you're not proficient in English.
Sugar mommy.
It is
Hoy, mama
speculated
ko yun,
that
ano
Yoo-jung
sugar
started
mommy?
developing a hatred for those who were good at English.
Baliw.
And maybe this is why she ended up
Sinong sugar
online
mommy? Mami ko
searching
yun.
for English tutors.
Pati tawag mo sugar mama ko. Baliw ka,
The victim,
Diyos.
Hannah, was a
Hi,
young,
64.
successful, accomplished university student at a prestigious school who was also
Hi,
an
Jamal.
English
Hello,
tutor.
64.
She was everything that Yoo-jung was not, and that may have been why she
How are
was
you
fired.
guys? Hi, Richard.
Now let's talk about her true crime obsession. But first,
Hello,
why was she even
baby.
obsessed?
Hi,
Because of the lack of
Lagalag.
any contact on Yoo-jung's phone after she was taken in by the police, the word hikikomori has been coming up in discussions about her case.
Hi,
And
Joel.
quick disclaimer, I don't think that Yoo-jung was, but there is a connection. We've talked about this previously on the Japanese serial killer
Feeling ko
cases that
kumapal
we've
yung
covered,
buhok ko.
but since it's been like over a year, let me give you a refresh. In Japanese culture, there is a phenomenon right now where adolescents and young adults have become very reclusive. Usually after graduating high
Okay
school
lang.
and into their adult lives, they will live in basically voluntary solitary confinement, usually in their parents' home. Some of them will go years without even talking or running into their own family members that they live with in the same apartment. Not massive White House with a west wing and an east wing. I'm talking a 3-bedroom apartment. Many of them stated they will coordinate their comings and goings out of their room to not run into a single human being. Sometimes these people will also go decades without seeing anyone outside of their immediate family members. Now, according to the Japanese Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare, side note, there is no good translation of hikikomori, but the Japanese government has defined it as the state of avoiding social engagement, education, employment, and friendships with generally persistent withdrawal into one's residence for at least 6 months as a result of various factors. So while it's pretty difficult to get exact numbers, estimates say that there are at least over 1 million hikikomori in Japan alone, probably close to 1 million in South Korea, and potentially millions in China. And it's become such a problem for Japan and really everywhere else. But
Parang
the
nakalimutan ko na
Japanese
mag-grade.
government even released a guide for the hikikomori on what to do in the event that their parent passes away.
For them.
Yeah. Because there was a case where a hikikomori